The following is about unwrestled mysteries. Whenever possible, the actual source materials, audio clips, and video clips are used to recreate the events. What you're about to see is not a news broadcast.
Tonight on Unwrestled Mysteries, the Macho Man Randy Savage was a former two-time WWF champion, a four-time WCW champion, and a WWE Hall of Famer. Meanwhile, Stephanie McMahon is the daughter of WWE owner Vince McMahon, an authority figure on Raw and SmackDown, and a key executive within the World Wrestling Entertainment Corporation. Thanks to the internet, their paths will forever cross. During the mid-2000s, a shocking list of 459 pro wrestling rumors surfaced from the Death Valley Driver message board, and it captivated the internet wrestling community. Despite the list having rumors about partying, trading sexual favors for pushes, and other strange fetishes, it was rumor number 68 that stood out from the pack and remains an unwrestled mystery to this day. It reads, and I quote, 68. Macho Man had his way with Stephanie, she was about 14 then, back in 94/95, and that Vince found out, and that was the true ending for Macho Man and WWF. This rumor was never confirmed or denied by either Macho Man Randy Savage or Stephanie McMahon. Yet the internet continues to speculate on that rumor to this day, thanks to various wrestling personalities adding their 2 cents.
I think that the reason is the same reason that everyone says. Okay. The only reason, it's the reason that everyone in the company says. It's the reason that is the only one that makes any sense. So I think that's the reason. You know, all I know is that within the company, as far as the top people, they all believe it, and nobody knows for sure because it's never brought up.
What's that got to do with anything? I mean, you know, Stephanie's a grown woman. You know what, brother? Macho, his name has never been uttered again out of Vince McMahon's mouth. And I've been back several times. And you're right, brother. The Macho Man's name has never been mentioned. But you know what? I just, if that's true, maybe that's why he never went back there.
Macho Man's own brother, Leaping Lanny Poffo, also known as the Genius in the WWF, is constantly bombarded with questions, but he has never fully confirmed the rumor.
Okay, the only thing I know about it, you see, Randy and I were very, very close, but he wasn't the type of guy to kiss and tell, because he believed a person's reputation is all they had. And he stuck to that. He was a very moralistic person.
I have absolutely no idea if the urban legend is true. And like I said, if I knew, I wouldn't tell you. It's none of anybody's business. There's only one person who knows for sure, and that is Stephanie. Randy's not here, and she's not talking. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt and just talk about something else.
Before we get into further details, let's look at the rumor itself at face value. Specifically, the she was about 14 then, and the years 94/95 mentioned. Stephanie McMahon was born on September 24th, 1976. Therefore, during 1994 and 1995, she would have been between the ages of 17 and 19 years old. That is about 3 to 5 years off from the mentioned 14 years of age in the rumor. Stephanie would have also been a senior in high school and a freshman at Boston University to hardly have enough time to hang around the WBE. She lived on campus in Massachusetts, and that was about 3 hours away from her home and WB headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut. Secondly, Macho Man Randy Savage left the WB for a better financial deal and to continue as a full-time wrestler with World Championship Wrestling during November 1994 and wrestled for WCW for the entire year of 1995. The Macho Man isn't exactly a guy who can travel incognito based on his unique look and size. Randy Savage would easily be noticed if he had frequent flyer miles for many northern trips, and wrestling fans would quickly recognize him on a college campus sneaking into a dorm room. Tabloids and other media sources would have heard about it. Maybe the rumor had the wrong year. Legal age of consent in Connecticut is actually 16 years old. Stephanie McMahon turned 16 during September of 1992. Macho Man did divorce his real-life wife, Miss Elizabeth, during August of 1992. Coincidence? However, if Macho Man was really with an underage Stephanie McMahon, then why were Miss Elizabeth and Randy Savage on good terms after their divorce? In fact, they worked together without any issues at World Championship Wrestling, and Macho Man actually helped Elizabeth land a job there. If an affair did indeed happen with a younger Stephanie McMahon, Macho Man's brother, Lanny Poffo, makes this point.
So if he had done anything illegal, Vince has about 30 lawyers on retainer. Don't you think that he could have done something legally to put pressure on Randy if he had done anything wrong?
Following this Lanny Poffo quote, the host of Kayfabe Commentaries, Sean Oliver, replied that after the steroid and sexual harassment scandals of the early 1990s, maybe Vince didn't want another scandal rocking the WWE, particularly one involving his family. Or maybe it was just an internet rumor, as again, it states the wrong age of Stephanie McMahon and mentions a year, 1995, when Macho Man wasn't even in the WWF. To further understand this unwrestled mystery, let's talk about Macho Man's 1994 WWF exit and why he never formally returned before his untimely 2011 death. During 1993 to 1994, Macho Man was on the sidelines as a color commentator instead of a full-time wrestler. WWE was in the midst of pushing the new generation stars such as Bret Hart, Yokozuna, Diesel, Razor Ramon, and Shawn Michaels after letting go many veterans that Macho Man Randy Savage used to feud with. Reportedly, Macho Man tried to pitch ideas to Vince McMahon, such as an extensive feud with Shawn Michaels, but Vince had no interest. Meanwhile, at WCW during 1994, they began signing many former WWE veterans to contracts such as Hulk Hogan. Still wanting to wrestle, Macho Man made the jump to WCW, and his last televised day with WWF was on October 31st, 1994. A week later, Vince McMahon officially announced Macho Man Randy Savage's exit from the company on November 7th, 1994 edition of Monday Night Raw.
At this time, obviously conspicuous by his absence is the Macho Man Randy Savage. And I'd like to announce, unfortunately, that Randy Savage has been unable to sign a contract with the World Wrestling Federation, not unable to rather come to terms with the World Wrestling Federation for a new contract. But Randy, I know you're out there listening. And on behalf of all of us here in the World Wrestling Federation, all of your fans, and certainly me, the number one fan, I'd like to say thank you for all of your positive contributions to the World Wrestling Federation. Thank you, Randy Savage, for all of the wonderful memories for so many years here in the World Wrestling Federation. We wish you nothing but the best. Godspeed and good luck.
As professional as that may have sounded by Vince McMahon, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reported on December 12, 1994, that following Macho Man's WCW debut, WWF's legal team sent World Championship Wrestling a cease and desist letter stating that Randy Savage had an implied agreement with WWE even though his signed 1991 two-year contract appeared to actually have expired during 1993. Macho Man would go on to give WCW some added star power to essentially headline the early WCW Nitros with the Mega Powers reunited and was a contributing factor to WCW Nitro defeating Monday Night Raw in viewership from 1996 to 1998. Throughout the Monday Night Wars, Vince McMahon seemed to hold a grudge against any wrestlers joining WCW. In fact, when asked during an April 20th, 1998 America Online chat, Vince McMahon stated the following when asked about Macho Man returning to the WWE. Question: do you plan on signing Randy Savage when his contract expires? In the year 2032, that might be a little late, Vince McMahon replied. Yet, during the same America Online interview, Vince McMahon said the following about Bret Hart, who had a much bitter exit from the company just 6 months ago in Montreal at Survivor Series 1997. Question: will we ever see Bret in the WWF again, and have you spoke to him since? Vince replied, he might return one day to WWF, but not at the rate that his skill is deteriorating in WCW. It's very likely that Vince McMahon takes Macho Man's exit more personally, since it was Savage's choice to join a competitor, and WCW did nothing but grow since Macho Man joined the company during 1994. Vince was also reportedly upset with Macho for taking the Slim Jim sponsor with him to WCW as well. With Bret Hart, it was Vince's choice to cause Bret to leave due to reported financial reasons during 1997. However, with Macho Man Randy Savage, he never formally returned to WWE television, while the likes of Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and others eventually returned to the WWE after WCW folded during 2001. Even the Ultimate Warrior returned to the WWE to join the Hall of Fame and appear on Raw after decades of bad blood with the company. With Macho Man Randy Savage, things appeared to get too personal with the WWE. For example, at the height of the Monday Night Wars, the WWE created parody sketches of Hulk Hogan, Mean Gene, and the Macho Man that Randy Savage took personally, according to his brother Lanny Poffo.
What Randy did not appreciate whatsoever was the Huckster versus the Nacho Man. Larry King Live. They weren't just making fun of his bald spot, which he was very sensitive about. They weren't just making fun of his age, which he also didn't like. But they asked a question. Larry King says, "How's Elizabeth?" Which Randy took to mean that Hulk was having an affair with Elizabeth. And they had crossed that boundary of humor into exploring this new depth. So Randy was absolutely furious.
Adding to the mockery of Macho Man's age was Triple H calling Randy Savage a dinosaur during a magazine interview. This prompted a video promo response by Savage on his Macho Man website, in which he calls out Triple H and makes mention of Triple H's real-life girlfriend, Stephanie McMahon.
Triple H did an interview on a magazine, and they said, "What do you think of Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man?" And he says, "Well, they're great, but they are dinosaurs." They are dinosaurs, was his answer. Well, evidently Hulk Hogan didn't mind being called a dinosaur, but Randy took big exception to it, and he was just as well have said, "If you think I'm so old, let's see how you can do in a shoot against me." You see, he challenged him to a shoot. In other words, taking your girl for a ride is his way of showing you no respect whatsoever.
And you, Hulk Hogan, you're a punk, yeah you are. And Triple H, you already know I'm gonna bitch slap you and take your girl, Stephanie McMahon. Get on my back, because I can take the pressure, yes I can.
It is very likely that this promo mentioning Stephanie McMahon probably blackballed the Macho Man Randy Savage from ever returning to the WWE during the 2000s. Keep in mind that Stephanie McMahon was not only Vince McMahon's daughter, but she was head of the creative team for much of the 2000s. This mere mention of Stephanie in this Macho Man promo against Triple H probably helped create the famous internet rumor. On top of that, Randy Savage had a deteriorating relationship with Hulk Hogan. Both men were not on speed between 2000 and 2007, and that may have also stopped Macho from returning to WWE. Randy Savage's last appearance as a pro wrestler was during 2005 with TNA Wrestling, where he walked away and never returned to the profession ever again. Thus, by the time Hulk Hogan left the WWE during 2007, Savage was already retired. Just to illustrate Macho Man's seething hatred for Hulk Hogan during this time, just listen to a clip of his Be a Man song from his 2003 rap album.
I smell a coward, is that you, Hogan? Macho's gonna kick your butt is a slogan.
Here's what likely kept Macho Man Randy Savage from returning to the WWE during the 2000s. 1. Randy Savage took the Nacho Man sketches that mocked his age and relationship with Miss Elizabeth very personally. 2. Savage had personal heat with Triple H following the Dinosaur magazine quote, and even included the mention of Stephanie McMahon, Vince's daughter, and his taunt to Triple H. And 3. Hulk Hogan was working with the WWE throughout the 2000s, and Randy Savage could not personally stand him back then. In fact, just before his death during 2011, Macho Man Randy Savage was beginning to lend his likeness to WWE merchandise and began to appear in WWE video games. When Randy Savage passed away, the WWE did the usual tribute for any deceased wrestler. Then, by 2015, the Macho Man was officially inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, with Hulk Hogan presenting and his brother Lanny Poffo accepting on his behalf. Many wonder why it took so long after Savage's death to have Macho Man inducted into the Hall of Fame, but reportedly, Randy Savage told the WWE that he wanted the entire Poffo wrestling family inducted instead of just him. WWE, however, only wanted to induct Macho Man and not the rest of his family. 3 years after his passing, Lanny Poffo and his mom relented to let just Macho Man Randy Savage get inducted for just himself. Hence the delay.
No, that's what Randy wanted. Yeah, he wanted he wouldn't go in unless I went in and my father went in. He wanted to go in as the Poffo family. That was his stipulation.
Just recently on Macho Man Randy Savage's A&E biography during WWE Week, Vince McMahon participated in saying positive things about the Macho Man throughout that documentary. If Vince McMahon truly had personal issues with Savage, then why would he be on that documentary, let alone speaking positively about him? To this day, there have been no eyewitnesses, pictures, or first-hand accounts of Randy Savage or Stephanie McMahon regarding their alleged relationship. Just a rumor created on a message board and then placed on an Angel Fire webpage, both of which were free and open for anybody to use to create internet rumors. Much of Savage's issues with the WB stem from Vince McMahon being upset that Macho Man joined the competition in WCW during late 1994, WB mocking him with the Macho Man sketches, Triple H's dinosaur comment, and Macho Man's return taunt about Stephanie, and then WB's working relationship with Hulk Hogan during the 2000s, a man whom Randy Savage personally despised at the time. In spite of those valid reasons, many on the internet somehow believed in this Macho Man and Stephanie McMahon relationship rumors, for which no evidence exists to prove it. The real unwrestled mystery is why the internet cares so much about this rumor in the first place. It is likely that many fans of the Attitude Era hold Stephanie McMahon accountable for the creative downfalls of the WB since she became creative lead during late 2000. As you can see from the ratings chart, television viewership in North America have coincidentally declined since she became more involved as a television character and joining the creative team. Wrestling fans may dislike her as an authority figure due to how she can talk down to their favorite wrestlers without any consequences. With Stephanie having a position in the WWE for life, wrestling fans are likely pushing this rumor as a way to stick it to her. Without evidence of a relationship actually existing, the rumor remains an unwrestled mystery as Macho Man has passed away and Stephanie McMahon has never validated the rumor. Unless Stephanie has something to reveal, this will remain just a rumor created on an internet message board.